So inflation's a big topic in the news this year, obviously. I want to toss back now to something that you said in last Sunday's debate about spending and various bills that have come before Congress here in recent years.
As Hoosiers watch from their living rooms this evening, we know that they are hurting. They are hurting as a result of the multi-trillion-dollar tax and spend policies of the Biden administration. The first thing they did when they came into office is rush through a stimulus bill. This is the last thing you want to do, a stimulus bill, which led to all manner of inflation. So we need to stop spending trillions of dollars that will just exacerbate this problem.
Senator Young wants us to believe in Indiana that Joe Biden walked into the White House and inflation was all his fault. Senator Young's been in Washington, D.C. for 12 years and raised the nation's debt $16 trillion since he's been in office. He's the most liberal Republican I've ever met.
The uptick in spending that's been referred to multiple times now was a result of a global pandemic. It's the job of government to help people out during a global pandemic. What would have they cut? Household payments, paycheck protection program to ensure employers remain whole and will be there on the back end of the pandemic. Operation Warp Speed.
Thank you.
All right, so you mentioned a number of items there that Congress approved during the Trump administration, but you were critical of some of the additional pandemic-related, to some extent, spending measures passed during the Biden administration. How do you respond to those who might wonder if your support of those bills comes down to which party is in power? We got a question along those lines from Tom in Greenwood here, who asked, why do you support tax cuts? Why did you support tax cuts in 2017, which targeted larger corporations and wealthy individuals, while voting against the recent Inflation Reduction Act?
So I'll hit that one directly, but essentially what you have here is the failure to show wisdom and discernment by so many national Democrats as it relates to spending. We spent during the pandemic, as I indicated during the debate. We've actually cut federal spending consistently, the annual spending that Congress actually votes for since I came into elective office. That was interrupted, as I indicated, by the global pandemic. There's some larger programs that we'll have to work together to make solvent. With respect to the tax program, I hear from so many, especially small businesses, but our larger businesses here in Indiana as well, that if it weren't for elimination of the medical device tax, if it weren't for improvement in the marginal rates of our small businesses, they wouldn't have survived the global pandemic. We implemented these in order to make them more competitive against other competitors around the globe. It turned out they really helped, the lower rates helped them make it through the pandemic.
Now, in the debate, your opponent also referenced the CHIPS Act that you helped get passed through the Senate. He described it as another costly spending bill in his words. What's your response to his comments on that?
Well, number one, it's a national security investment. We need these computer chips, and we need them made here so that we know what's in them as opposed to China or other places, so that they can go into our fighter aircraft, our radar systems, and so forth. Hoosiers understand that. The second thing is I can not only defend this, but say this is absolutely necessary in a modern economy to keep inflation down. We need to make our own computer chips so that the GM plant in Fort Wayne, which is idled twice this year as a result of having a sufficient number of computer chips, can assemble all the automobiles that come before this. So that our farmers can fix their planters when there's a global pandemic or, God forbid, a geopolitical event that prevents chips from being imported into this country.
Another question here about inflation and gas prices from my colleague Birchelle Edmay at Fox 59 in Indianapolis.
Inflation at this point has hit every corner of Hoosiers' lives, whether that's at the grocery store or the gas pump. And just recently, the president has talked about releasing from the strategic reserve. What is your reaction to the president's action, and what would you do to address inflation in the Hoosier state?
All right, so two parts to that question. First, what's your reaction to the president releasing more fuel from the nation's strategic reserves?
The strategic reserves are supposed to be just that. They're strategic. It's for national security purposes. This is not a national security purpose. In fact, frankly, it's not necessary. Instead, what we should be doing is increasing oil and gas production in this country. The president has exhausted all of other opportunities aside from the obvious solution, as Hoosiers know this, which is to increase production domestically as we were doing under Republican leadership.
And what other actions would you take at the federal level to try and slow down inflation generally?
Well, reducing regulations, including those on oil and gas, but you see them in the housing sector, you see them across our economy. So taking the cost out of things through regulatory reduction. And then let's stop spending the trillions we don't have on things we don't need. Household payments. The pandemic is over. Hoosiers are workers. They don't need household payments. They tell me this. This only exacerbates inflation. No, by the way, it may help them. You may get a little sugar high in your household budget, but as Hoosiers will tell you, it's certainly not enough to keep up with the inflation, the cost of goods that they buy.
My kids are often on a sugar high. I'm sure yours are too.
Mine
That's
are, too.
another topic
Yeah.
entirely. of
Halloween's
course.
coming up.
That's right, right. Obviously, the situation in Ukraine has also impacted gas prices around the world, and